Good afternoon, everyone. I'd just like to say thank you for the opportunity to speak here today, along with other parents from the support group Every Life Counts. I'd like to share some of my story and experiences of a very difficult but rewarding time in my life when we were given a prenatal diagnosis of trisomy 18 for my son Seán at our 20-week scan back in April 2014. As a parent who faced an awful situation with this prenatal diagnosis, I really can't emphasise enough the importance of good perinatal hospice care for babies like Seán and families like mine. Although services in Ireland have improved over the years, the level of care is still patchy throughout the country, and we feel this is unacceptable. Families who have been lucky enough to encounter this care have said it was very important for them to be treated in such a way that it gave them the opportunity to meet their much-loved baby and spend some precious time with them. For me personally, it was important to make memories and feel some form of love and comfort in these tragic circumstances. We were given a lovely little memory box which gave us ideas on how to make special memories with Seán during the pregnancy and after he was born. We had tons of beautiful photos taken, which we will treasure forever, and all of this has really helped in the healing process since losing him at just 2 days old back in August 2014. Seán was and still is such a special little boy. He has had a huge impact on our lives, and he will always be remembered in a very special way. We chose to give him the best possible chance of life, and most of the medical team we dealt with were a great support during this time. For example, the bereavement counsellor at the hospital was such an amazing lady, and I don't think we could have gotten through that awful time without her help and support, as was the midwife that delivered Seán. But there were some areas where improvements could and really should be made. Don't get me wrong, my own personal experience of care throughout the pregnancy was good, most of the time, apart from a couple of things. For instance, I'll never forget the day Seán was diagnosed with trisomy 18. That day was a complete nightmare from start to finish. We had an amniocentesis done that day, which confirmed Seán's condition. But I was so distraught at the time, I didn't realise what was actually happening or how serious the situation was. After we had the diagnosis confirmed, they tried to explain to us what trisomy 18 was. At this point, I had never heard of it before. I had no idea what it meant for my son, and to be honest, I was in no fit state to take it all in. So I asked for some information on the condition, just something I could take home with me, a leaflet or a booklet, and read that would explain it in terms that I could understand. But unfortunately, the hospital had no information available to give to me, which left us no other option than to go home and Google it, which wasn't the best thing to do in this situation. By Googling it, we were met with a lot of misinformation, which led to further distress. Now, this to me is a very simple thing that could easily be changed in order to help parents in a very distressing situation, and yet it's still happening. Another upsetting experience was having to listen to the term incompatible with life being used over and over again. Personally, I feel this term is overused in Irish hospitals, and I began to really hate those 3 words. I found it very distressing to have to listen to the doctor refer to Seán with this phrase each time I attended the hospital. I felt Seán's life was written off after he was diagnosed because in their eyes he was incompatible with life, and that was it. This term represents everything that's wrong in the field and gives doctors an excuse to refuse to carry out beneficial medical interventions after birth. And it really shouldn't be used to describe babies with a life-limiting condition. Although the hospital I attended did have some good aspects of a perinatal hospice care programme in place, I don't feel Seán was given the care he deserved. The The care I received before Seán was born was mostly good, as I said. If I was ever worried about something, I could just pick up the phone, call a member of the team for a chat, or pop in if I needed a scan. But I was disappointed with the care we received after Seán was born. We chose comfort care for him after birth, mainly because we didn't have any other option. For babies born here in Ireland with a prenatal diagnosis of a condition such as trisomy 18, that is the only option. There would be no medical intervention. When Seán was born, he was handed to me. We were given a quiet room and left alone to kiss him, cuddle him, take family photos and make some wonderful memories with him. But as the time passed, Seán was still with us, and I realised I had no idea how to actually care for him. Nobody came to help when I asked for assistance with feeding him on the second day, and I was told by the nurse they were a bit busy, so, and this was a quote, "Try it yourself, and if he doesn't take any milk, it doesn't matter." I was so distraught to hear this. I felt completely lost and didn't know what to do. Seán needed help to feed due to problems associated with trisomy 18, yet no one was helping him. His basic human needs weren't being met, and I as a mother felt I was failing him. And those words will haunt me forever. To me, it felt like he didn't matter. But why didn't he matter? Why was my baby's care no longer important? This was not the good level of comfort care I was expecting. The comfort care plan we had discussed on numerous occasions before his birth. It's true what they say, how a doctor, nurse or other healthcare provider deals with a family when their baby has a life-limiting condition can have a lasting impact. Good or bad, it will stay with you forever. And this can be a very worrying and distressing time for parents, and these vulnerable little babies deserve to have the best possible care that hospital can provide. I really hope no parent ever has to hear those distressing words again in the future, or be made to feel as if their baby's needs are no longer important. But I do believe that with small changes, big improvements can happen. And I'd like to just finish by saying thanks all for listening to my story, and I hope these changes come about in the near future. Thank you.